I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on. Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on. And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good, good, good. Oh, I just feel so good, good, good. I just feel so good.
So I met Gabby at a friend's birthday party.
What?
There. Oh boy. So I met Gabby at a friend's birthday party. I got to talking to her, found out what she's passionate about, which is her organization called Stronger Than Stigma. She's an advocate for mental health. I believe mental health is a daily journey, daily battle, and I think her story will be very beneficial to a lot of people. So check out her story.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle Magid. I'm the founder and CEO of Stronger Than Stigma, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to mental health advocacy for millennials by millennials, all about breaking down the barriers that keep people from reaching out for help, helping everybody feel comfortable in their own skin, and to know that reaching out for help is a strength, not a weakness, and you're not alone.
Okay. So what brought you to this point? What made you want to start this organization?
So, mental health advocacy is a cause that's very near and dear to my heart. I started struggling with anxiety and depression my junior year of high school. I can't, my voice feels like not normal. No, I can't hear myself talk. To me, mental health is an everybody problem. You know, they say that 1 in 4 people struggle with a mental health issue at some point in their lifetime, but that's just based on who reaches out for help, because that's how they know to report. So the number is actually far larger than that. But 4 out of 4 of us know somebody who struggles and can defeat the stigma. So for me personally, I started struggling with anxiety and depression when I was 17. I was a junior in high school, and things were really hard. It was a very isolating experience, and I wanted to make sure that nobody else would ever have to deal with that the way I had to. I wanted it to be something where people understood that they weren't the only one, and they could talk to somebody their own age, or maybe a little bit older, who was walking the same road, to tell them like you're gonna be okay. Things turn out well in the end.
How did you overcome anxiety and depression?
Oh, you never overcome it. You just learn to live with it and manage it daily, and live your fullest life, which you can totally do.
So helping people is what pushes you to creating this, to stepping outside your comfort zone, to do something like this.
Basically, what I needed when I was really in the thick of things didn't exist, so I knew that if I wanted it, I'd have to create it, and then it's just hoping like, oh, well, other people need it too. And that has been, echoed over and over again in the last 5.5 years that I've been working on this, that I can tell you for a fact, like, people want a community to belong to while they're struggling. And, if you reach out for help, you're maybe seeing a doctor for an hour a week, or a therapist or whatnot. It's like, what do you do with all those other hours when you have the burden of this secret because of the stigma being what it is? So we're really trying to attack that culture that keeps people quiet and keeps people from reaching out for help for fear of being considered weak, because it's just not true. It's so not true. You're not the only one. Things can and do get better, and there's help out there.
Okay. Tell us about the journey of building Stigma, the ups, the downs. How long did it take you getting this location here, and in the future of Stigma?
Sure. So I started Stronger Than Stigma with 3 of my really good friends when I was still a student at the University of Florida. And basically it was us looking around our campus and saying, goodness gracious, like we have access to free resources on campus, whether it be counseling and wellness center kind of things or the disability resource center, whatever it is, you have access to counselors and mental health care, for free. And yet everybody we met was struggling with something, and the two weren't seeking each other out. And that was the problem. We're like, what kind of culture do we have on our campus that people are so afraid to be different or so afraid to be themselves that they won't reach out when they don't feel like themselves? And you could be feeling depressed, stressed, just a little off, and you don't necessarily know how to handle that. You're away from home for the first time as a college kid. There's a lot going on, and we decided that, based on personal experiences ourselves, we could do something, hopefully, to change that culture and make it cool to reach out for help. We were 20 at the time, and so now, we've graduated, we've entered the real world. My friends are awesome and still, very much invested in Stronger Than Stigma's success, but, they had other journeys to follow in their life, so it became clear that, if I wanted to see Stronger Than Stigma continue to grow and be a thing, that I would need to dedicate myself to it, and that's what I've done. I quit my day job earlier this year in the fall of, 2018 now? Yeah, it's because we're in 2019. So I just quit my day job, and now I'm, solely focused on Stronger Than Stigma. And this pop-up that we're sitting in now is called The Living Room, and it's a pop-up installation for conversation during Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's the first of its kind. Like, I can't tell you, where the idea came from or whatnot, but I looked around and realized, like, where do you go to have a conversation about mental health? Really nowhere, like we're because of the stigma, you're going to be having hopefully one-on-one conversations with people that you love and you care about, but you're kept like in the privacy of your own home on a couch in your living room. And it's like, no, we should have a living room right in the town square. People should feel comfortable coming in, and it should be for all people, no matter what their backgrounds are. And we've always curated events to bring people together. That's always been something that's super important. It's super important to me to do outreach in a way that's different than what was out there already, because what was out there already was helping some people, but it wasn't helping me, and it wasn't helping the people that I now help, because they felt alone up until this point. And so we did like a comedy tour. We went on the road with a comedian named Josh Novi, who volunteered his time basically to, actually that's not true, that he didn't volunteer his time, but he was willing to go on the road, I should say. He was willing to go on the road, and the two of us, did a comedy tour up and down the East Coast. We called it the Nobody's Happy Comedy Tour. And for the month of October, we did 12 shows in 6 states in 25 days. And it was really, the power of coping through comedy and the power of comedy to bring people together and, laugh through those shared experiences. Because a lot of them are painful when they happen, but, knowing that you're not alone and that there's solidarity around an issue, I think brings a lot of comfort, and so does laughter. So that was pretty cool. Moving forward, I want to see this pop-up travel, and I want to take it on the road and have it be in as many cities, wherever there's a vacant storefront, that we can go, because I've watched the magic happen here over the last 2 weeks. We have 2 more weeks left to go, but like, people come here and good things happen. They open up, they feel comfortable, they're exploring this new concept, they're saying, well, duh, and why hasn't this ever happened before? And that's really cool to know that an idea and a dream that I had came to life like that. But on a daily basis, when we have open hours, we're just sitting here waiting for somebody to stumble in and see what happens. There's been some magic that these 2 people 22-year-old and a 67-year-old walked in here just about the same time last week, and somehow it comes out that they both use poetry as a means of self-expression. And before I knew it, the 67-year-old started sharing a poem that she had just written on a napkin at a coffee shop. And then, we're cheering her on. And then the 22-year-old is like, I do the same thing. Like, do you mind if I share my poetry? And we're like, no, please do. And then all of a sudden he's pulling out his phone, getting into it. And it was just like so serendipitous that these two people came into the space at the same time, had something to give each other and to share. And then watching it all unfold was just mind-blowing to see happen. That happens like every day. Not necessarily the poetry part, but like the connections, and that's everything that we dreamed that this would be. It's all about human connection and recognizing, like, I see where you've been. I might not be able to relate to like your particular struggle, but I understand what struggle feels like, and I'm gonna be here and listen to what you have to say.
That was actually my next question. It might not be the answer to it. I was gonna ask you, what's something very memorable to you since starting this? A memory that sticks out to you that aligns with the vision.
It's hard now to like pick one, I guess, because the other challenging part about running a nonprofit is the business world works in metrics. So you have to be able to prove that you've made an impact with numbers, which means, quantifying the existence of the nonprofit rather than qualifying it. But because this is human, the human condition and human nature, and the nature of this work is about storytelling, basically, most of what we have are these stunning testimonials of people finding Stronger Than Stigma online in like their darkest hour, or coming to an event and finally feeling whole and recognizing that they're not alone. This whole room of people was brought together and they share something, and the power behind that. I've had people message me and open up about, their own personal struggles, and telling me that I'm the only person that they've ever shared that with. And that's huge. It's a lot for me sometimes, where it's like, I'm carrying these people's secrets and these people's stories because they've, trusted me with them, and it's an honor to carry them. And it's funny too that one of these things always seems to surface when I have the most self-doubt. So there are days as a social entrepreneur where I wake up and I'm like, well, what's it all for? Like, nobody's supporting us financially with donations of the size that I need to keep going, or nobody's recognizing our importance in this community, or nobody, these days where I'm like really down on myself, like, what's it all for, who even cares, blah blah blah. And I'll get a message and somebody will say like, hey, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but just to let you know, I've been following what you're doing and I think it's great, and I struggle, or my family member struggles, or I've lost a loved one to a struggle. And it's those moments where I'm like, no, I can't stop. Like, not only do I not want to because I'm enjoying this work and it's fulfilling for me, but like, people are depending on this now, and I can't let them down, nor do I want to.
Do me a favor and pull out your phones right now and like and follow Stronger Than Stigma on all of your social media platforms, and also Gold City Circuit, because they're awesome. We appreciate the love and support. I also want to thank you so much for your support financially. Your ticket price, half goes as a donation to Stronger Than Stigma, and half goes to support our local talent, which is amazing. So round of applause to you. All the support.